Look, check it out, check it out, check it out. It's fast as lightning. Kind of reminds me of a lightsaber with a computer in it. I don't know, it's kind of cool, like. I'm not trying to break this because I just got it, so yeah. Okay, so it's been about a month already that I've been messing with the AK2000, and if you haven't seen my latest video, I'm gonna post it up in the card below or in the description box so you guys can check it out later. But I want to give you guys like my 5 features on this gimbal that I really like. I think it's dope, so let's get to it. So the first feature I want to talk about is portability, and I think that's really important, especially if you're a content creator that likes to travel and you want to be able to have some really cool steady shots and use this for part of your content. Now the cool thing about this gimbal is that I can separate it into 3 sections, which is from the handle to the tripod section and also even the motors. I'm able to take it apart, put it in my bag. It's easy to use and it's not hard to put back on, and yeah, definitely it was a lifesaver for me because I was able to carry this in my Brevity bag. I didn't have to carry a huge gimbal around. So the next feature I want to talk about is the actual capture mode. There's like 3 different capture modes here. There's a default, smooth, and action. I actually like the action, especially if you want to be able to mimic those whip pan effects, especially when you do it in post. So like it's really cool. So it goes really fast. Like, it's a really small feature, but I think it's really powerful, especially if you're doing action-based kind of content, or if you want to be able to switch it up and do more of that smooth, slow-mo, buttery stuff. Yeah, it's really awesome. The next thing I want to talk about is more so the little things, and what's really cool about this gimbal is that it has actual lock button on the side here that you press so that you don't mess with your settings while you're actually using the gimbal. Alright, so that little button is actually super useful because I've noticed myself having my thumb right on the screen and changing the settings a few times. So I noticed my gimbal acting a little crazy and whatnot, and it's because I would change something. I would change the mode or something like that, and like it would just go crazy. So lately I've just been pressing the lock button. It locks in itself, and then you press it again and then it unlocks. So it's really useful. It's a really small feature within this gimbal, but it's also very powerful as well. That way in the middle of a shoot, you're not pressing anything random and messing up your settings and it eventually messing up your footage. Next cool little feature on this is actual selfie mode, and the easy way to go about it is by pressing 3 times on the power button, and it quickly goes into selfie mode. You know, get yourself, capture yourself. And the cool thing is that you can easily reverse this by just hitting the trigger right in the front 2 times, and it'll automatically just go right to the front. And it's super useful. I've seen a few gimbals that you have to actually use your thumb to do both things, and having that trigger button in the front to reverse everything to go back to normal is actually really useful, especially if you're like on the go and filming yourself. It's pretty awesome. So a few days ago I was messing with this gimbal and I found out this has a actual cool feature where I can set points to. So for instance, if I have a point A and point B and I want to be able to focus on one particular subject, I can actually track it to the next point, and it simply goes into like this really cool smooth motion. And the cool thing is that in between the points you can actually make points as well. So after every half second you can set a point, turn it, half second, turn it again, you can go up, you can go down, and it'll track its own self. I think it's really useful, and you can come up with like a bunch of creative ideas with it. So yeah, if you have this gimbal, definitely try it out because it's actually really awesome. I'm gonna try to incorporate that in the next couple videos in my B-roll and all that stuff, because I have a few shoots that I'm gonna be working on, and some of them it's like food related stuff. So I think it'd be pretty cool to try that and use that feature. It's dope. So the very last feature on this gimbal is actually a pretty big one, and that's the actual interface on the screen here. I think honestly that it's pretty easy to understand. There are a few things that I would change about it, but other than like size and all text size and all that stuff, I think it's pretty easy. It's very super friendly. But the cool thing also is that I can connect Wi-Fi and Bluetooth from my camera on my A7 III, and I can actually change the ISO settings, the exposure and all that stuff. You don't necessarily have to use your hands on the camera itself. You could do it right on the screen. It's super simple and useful. I tried it the other day. I'm going to be using it actually now because it's just really easy to use. It's your control center. Pretty awesome. It's a lightsaber with a computer. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, it's pretty dope. I had a few people ask me if they should get this gimbal or something like the Zen Crane 2 or the Weeble app. Nowadays, every gimbal balances and can create some really awesome footage for you. I look at it this way. You should definitely check into your budget and see how many times you're really going to be using this thing, and then work from there. Personally, I think the Weeble app is really awesome, and I would love to get my hands on it just because of the fact that I can really store that in my bag super easy. I don't have to detach anything. It has those really cool lock features on it. Speaking of lock features, the AK4500, which was just released, it's really awesome. They have the lock features and all that stuff. It's a little bit more robust of a gimbal. It holds, I believe, 10 pounds or 9 pounds. So if you're looking into something like a 1DX Mark II or maybe even a Red, you could totally put that on there and it'll work just fine. I'm gonna contact the guys over at Feiyutech. Hopefully maybe they can send one over. That way you guys can check it out and I can compare those two. But I think this gimbal itself, the AK2000, works just as fine. I haven't had any issues with it. Hopefully you guys can make the right decision on your first gimbal, your next gimbal, and we can all just create some really awesome footage. Also, let me know in the comment section if you have any of these type of gimbals. Let me know which ones you're using. Let me know how you're using them, and maybe even drop a link to a video. I definitely would like to check out your content and engage with you guys. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button below, hit the little bell icon to receive notifications when I post new videos. Until next time, stay awesome, stay fresh, keep creating. Peace.